Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. Now, Nigeria is the country with the largest energy access deficit in the world. Let me repeat it again. Nigeria is the country with the largest energy access deficit in the world. While Nigeria has 13,000 megawatt of installed electricity generation capacity, only less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity is transmitted to the grid daily, caused by aging transmission infrastructure and erratic gas supply. So Nigeria is the country with the largest energy access deficit in the world. Now, what is the cause of this problem? The cause of the problem is aging transmission infrastructure and erratic gas supply. Because sometimes you hear that the power stations did not get gas that it needed to be powered. And then the infrastructure, the transmission infrastructure keep on collapsing. In fact, there are some years it will collapse up to 100 times in a year, sometimes 50 times, 60 times, depending on who is counting. Now, this is a major problem that the Nigerian government and the investors in that sector ought to find a solution. How do we solve the problem of aging transmission infrastructure and erratic gas supply? We have gas enough in this country, and we can be able to improve on the aging transmission infrastructure. But instead of addressing that, the Nigerian government is more interested in making the Nigerian people to suffer, like what they did recently to increase electricity tariff without consideration that the minimum wage of Nigerians is 30,000, and the one that they are negotiating with labor is going on now endlessly. Even at that, how many percentage of Nigerians are really working? Most Nigerians are farmers. After those who are farmers, the rest are artisans, those who do small businesses, barbers, mechanics, what have you. And these people need electricity to be able to function, to be able to be productive. So it's not even a question of, even if you are paying a minimum wage, let us assume that you are paying a reasonable minimum wage. Only very few Nigerians are privileged to receive a minimum wage, even the 30,000 naira. There are many states that are still paying 20,000, 18,000, and what have you. In fact, there are some states in Nigeria where they pay workers in percentages. They will tell you that that is what they got based on what they got from FAC. That depends on what you receive. There are states in Nigeria where you get 15% of your salary. You can get 20%, 30%, depending on how the governor and the commissioner of finance told the people that that is what they receive from Abuja. Since we live in a country where, since Okonjo-Iweala, nobody publishes what states and local governments are collecting. It was Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as Minister of Finance that introduced that transparent approach to governance. But now nobody does anything about it. So you don't know what anybody collects. So your state governor can decide to pay you 30% of your salary. Your local government can decide to pay you your 50% of your salary based on what they say they collected from Abuja. So that's not even the issue is that subsidy in electricity It's the responsibility of government of Nigeria to provide subsidy. It is a lie from the pit of hell to tell us that subsidy is not being paid. It should not be paid. That other countries don't pay subsidy. It's a lie. Even in the United States, they pay subsidy. You can go and verify. Go and Google it. United States government paid electricity subsidy for their people. Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, was talking on Friday and talking anyhow that they have lived abroad. That the reason why people are doing what they are doing is because electricity is cheap in Nigeria. Electricity is not cheap in Nigeria, given the minimum wage in Nigeria, given the situation in Nigeria. Electricity is not cheap. Those who are saying that electricity is cheap in Nigeria, like the minister, they are lying. Given our minimum wage, given the income in the country, the minister was saying that people are mismanaging energy consumption in Nigeria because energy is cheap in Nigeria. He said that people will leave their fridge on or their freezer on and leave house. And he said sometimes they will on their AC, air conditioner, put it on and go out to their neighbor's house so that before they come, by the time they come back, the house will have cooled. All kinds of things. Blaming the people for the inefficiency of government and those they sold the power sector to. In any case, how many people, he was talking about that sometimes the water will block in the fridge and things in the fridge are frozen, and yet you are still on in it. I wonder how many places in Nigeria are privileged to even enjoy this kind of electricity he's talking about, because he was making a generalization. There are so many places in this country they receive electricity only 3 hours in a day when they see it. Some places 4 hours in a day. So somebody that does not even, there are some places they are doing what they call shading or whatever. There are some places you receive electricity today for maybe 6 hours. You are not going to see that electricity until the next day. Sometimes after 2 days, another section of the town will have to get the electricity. It is because the electricity in Nigeria is so epileptic that people don't even bother to switch off their electricity, their things before they leave home, because they know that there will no electricity anywhere. So people out of carelessness can fail to turn off their fridges and what have you. That doesn't mean that it is because the electricity is cheap. It is because it doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist. Because already we have seen that Nigeria is the country with the largest energy access deficit in the world. So if you are the country with the largest energy deficit, where did these people get the energy that they are using to freeze everything they have in their freezer and then keep on freezing those things? Even after they have frozen, they still leave it. They still don't turn off the freezer. Where? Perhaps these are for a few selected elite in some sections of the country, but it can't be the opinion or the experience of the vast majority of Nigerians who do not have access to electricity, who get electricity only once in 3 days, some get once in 2 weeks, some get once in a day. How could these people be the people you are blaming? Are blaming for the lack of capacity to know how to manage energy. What do you expect somebody who gets electricity only once a day three hours a day. What kind of management? Instead of addressing the real issue, they have said that by classifying Nigeria as the country with the largest energy access deficit, they identified the problem. They said the problem is aging infrastructure, transmission infrastructure, and erratic gas supply. These are issues. They say a problem identified is half done, half solved. What government should do is to be able to find solution to the aging transmission infrastructure, and then ensure that there is no erratic gas supply. We have gas in abundance in Nigeria, and these are the responsibilities of government and those who have invested in that sector, in the power sector, to solve the problem, and not to pass the problem and pass the ball to Nigerian people and blame them for the inefficiency of the government and those managing the electricity infrastructure or the electricity sector in Nigeria. The truth is that these guys want to do the bidding of the International Monetary Fund, so they just have to look for excuses. But it's a childish excuse to talk about that Nigerians don't know how to manage consumption of electricity because it is too cheap. Come on, how can you say that? Because it is too cheap. How can it be too cheap? How can it be too cheap that a Nigerian will be wasting it? It doesn't even exist in many places. Because if we have enough electricity and people are just misusing it because it is cheap, why did the world classify Nigeria as the country with the largest energy access deficit? You have the capacity to generate 13,000 megawatts of electricity, and you are only supplying less than 5,000 megawatts, and you are still complaining that they are wasting it. When you are the major corporate, you have 13,000 megawatts of electricity and installed capacity, that you are so inefficient in its management that you can't even supply up to half of that 13,000. You are managing less than 5,000, and you are looking for ordinary Nigerians to blame. Now you have passed the problem to them through high tariff, so that Nigerians will continue to suffer after suffering, after the suffering, or there's combining it to the suffering they are passing through as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, and then the flotation of the naira. These are policies of this government that increase hardship in Nigeria. Now you have added electricity into it because we don't want Nigerians to breathe, and you blame them for things that are your responsibility to do. You can as well just keep quiet if you don't know what to say. Just say that you have increased the electricity tariff. You don't need to tell us anything. After all, Nigeria is a country where the citizens can take anything that the government dish out to them. Just increase it. You don't need to explain anything. Those who will pay, and those who will not pay. That would have made more sense than to make Nigerians look like fools. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know how to manage electricity. He said, those of us who have lived abroad before, you are not the only one who have lived abroad. Even the abroad you have lived. In America, they subsidize electricity. Yes, there is subsidy in electricity. There is subsidy in fuel in America. There is energy subsidy. You can Google it and see the subsidy, energy subsidy that is paid by American government that benefits the American people. So all these lies that all these countries, that there are no subsidies, he said it's not true. When you want to implement IMF is always complaining that they are paying subsidy. He said the ordinary people are not benefiting from the subsidy. It's only the rich that are benefiting. A lie from pit of hell. Who are the people suffering most now? Is it the rich that are suffering from the fuel subsidy removal? How many rich people have they given palliative? Is it not the poor? to show that it was a lie from the pit of hell, bolded by the IMF and others who are laying that claim that it's only the rich that benefit from fuel subsidy. But when you are giving palliative now, you are looking for the poor. Why are you looking for the poor since they don't benefit? It's only the rich. These are all kinds of lies that they propagate when they want to pursue a particular project to please the IMF or the World Bank. So the minister should take note of that. He shouldn't be saying things to make Nigerians look like they are morons. They don't know what they are doing. They should not take Nigerians' docility as an excuse to tell them all kinds of things. That's my take on this matter. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.